Congressman Eric Cantor from Virginia is the House Minority Whip, and Senator Chris Dodd is the chair of the Senate Health, Education, Labor, and Pensions Committee, the only Senate committee to pass a health care bill so far. Good morning to both of you.
Good morning, Meredith.
Congressman, if I can start with you, you said that health care legislation currently moving through Congress is taking us down a dangerous course. Did you hear anything last night that would change your mind?
Well, Meredith, what I heard last night was a president that seemed somewhat frustrated that people don't understand what this government health care plan is about. And, you know, throughout the hour-long press conference last night, I think people still have a lot of questions about what it means for them and their families. What does a government plan mean for them? And, you know, it is just imperative, I think, that we get this right. And I think that's where all of us are right now, is to make sure we don't rush to judgment, that we don't just try and get something passed, because we all know what that can lead to, given what this Congress has been about over the last several months.
But yeah, let me bring in Senator Dodd, because it's not just Eric Cantor who's saying this, or the Republicans, it's members of your own party, and increasingly the public expressing this skepticism. What specifically did the president say last night, specifically, that would change minds?
Is that a question for me, Meredith?
Yes, it is.
Well, I think he was trying to calm the waters. You described it well in your introduction here. This is a question we're getting a lot more fear and exaggerations about this. The president said over and over again, this is a plan where you get to keep your doctor. You make the choices if you like the plan you have. We're not going to take it away. Most people like the plans they have in this country. We need to leave alone which is working and try to fix that which is broken. You mentioned the 47 million without insurance. There are about 30 million people in this country who are underinsured. We're consuming about 18% of our gross domestic product. 62% of bankruptcies in this country are directly related to health care crises. 50% of the home foreclosures are related to the health care crisis.
But, Senator, he still didn't specifically say how we're going to pay for this, and I think that's a concern of most Americans.
Well, it's not just the president's call, obviously, and Eric made this point, and I'll make it as well. Obviously, that's a decision that we in the Congress have to decide on how to do this, the shared responsibility. There are various ideas out there that are floating around, but we need to stick with this. The notion somehow we ought to put this off to a later date, which some seem to be suggesting, I think is wrong. That's a Washington answer. I hear that this has been a problem that's been around for 70 years, Meredith. It's defied the efforts of every president, Democrat and Republican, and every Congress for 70 years. If it had been easy, it would have been fixed years ago. Our job now is to stick with this because it's no longer unacceptable that we deal with health care. It's unsustainable economically. Yesterday, the chairman of the Federal Reserve Board made the case again. This problem of health care must be addressed, or our economic recovery is going to be difficult, if not impossible.
Congressman, what about the charges against the Republicans that they are playing politics here? The president last night referred to Republican strategist Bill Kristol, who said even if the Republicans want to compromise, better to go for the kill. He also referenced Senator DeMint, who said that if the president fails here, it will break him. Is that what the Republicans are trying to do, just play politics here? Because it sounds like that.
Meredith, that's just another straw man argument. That's just not the case. We have said consistently that Republicans do not accept the status quo. But what we want to do is make sure that we get it right. And the president said that as well. You know, and we've got questions of what actually a government health care plan means. I mean, what we heard in the president's explanation last night was that somehow the government is going to stop doctors from being able to prescribe what it is that the patient needs. Now, I don't think that the families out there looking and questioning what a government health care plan is about really want to see that happen. I think they trust their doctors. And we do have a much larger question about how to pay for this. And what we didn't hear last night was the details of what President Obama's plan does, which imposes a huge burden on small businesses.
All right, can I interrupt you for 1 second?
That's how he wants to pay for this plan. And right now, we've got to be about job creation.
Okay, Congressman Eric Cantor, we're running out of time. Very, very quickly, the Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi, says she thinks she has the votes on the floor to get legislation passed by August 8th when you guys go on recess. Yes or no, do you believe that will happen?
Well, you know, I think there's still a lot of unanswered questions, and if they get this thing passed next week, it'll have to be a changed bill, because right now there are too many unanswered questions.
Okay, and Chris Dodd, what do you think will happen on the Senate side by August 8th?
Well, we've got a good chance. You need to keep working at this. My hope that would be that would happen, but you need to keep at it. Again, 14,000 people today will lose their health insurance, health coverage, and that happens every single day. 400 people in Virginia lose it today, 100 people in my state. The people out across the country here, this is all Washington talk. They're going through an awful lot. Every one of us in Congress have a good health care plan. If we had to go through what most Americans are going through, we'd be busy trying to fix this.
Okay, we're going to leave it at that. Congressman Eric Cantor and Senator Chris Dodd, thank you so much for your time this morning.
Thank you, Meredith. Yeah.